different things on it. There was I think this last one felt like the hardest because we thought it had something to do with the previous ones, but it was actually a completely separate puzzle that had although the amount of balls was the same, it had no bearing on the previous puzzle.
Almost as if those balls are the numbers are significant somehow.
I mean, now we do.
Yeah, so you guys...
What did we do at the end? What happened at the end of that?
The things that were missing is what we used, the tear stones that had a thing. So, like...
A smell or a...
Yeah.
No. What did it reveal or unlock or whatever?
Treasure.
So there was treasure. So there was a bunch of scrolls that you guys tried to hide from Thurwag, but he was like, "Give me the scrolls, guys," and you were like, "Fine, whatever." Right. There was a item which is still in the chat.
Ah, that's right. Yes, a ring, studded armor, gold, a jewel token, silken robe, and scrolls manuscripts.
So
scrolls
there was
and
the
comma manuscripts.
Manuscripts.
Anus crypts.
Anus crypts.
So the ring. I'm not sure whoever took the ring. I have it in my mind that Bob took the ring.
Yeah.
Iris has the ring.
Iris has the
am
ring.
I playing Ramrod tonight?
Oh,
surely you can.
Please do. Given I'm playing off of my phone.
And then Iris tried to engage with Thurwag to see what was on the scrolls, but it was in an ancient language you guys couldn't really read.
I mean, I can. I've got comprehend languages as a spell, but it seemed that the DM was alluding to.
You can. I didn't. You can try, and what you would read from that would be it's an ancient language that is hard to interpret the grammar thereof. It'd be like if we picked up an ancient English textbook, like, not ancient English, but like, a medieval English book, and tried to read it. We would be like, fuck.
Yeah, all the Y's instead of TH's and stuff like that.
Yeah, and we would be reading it, and the words would be. Let me read the wording of comprehend languages. Are you going to say that?
No, because normally I would push, but I did the exact same thing to Michael when he tried to decipher the hieroglyphs in the Mummy Lord's cave. So I think this is fair.
You must be touching the surface on which the words are written. It takes 1 minute to read. Spell doesn't decode secret messages in a text or a glyph, such as an arcane sigil, isn't part of a written language. Alright, well...
Thurwag won't let Iris touch it. Problem solved.
Thurwag won't, but there was some in this ante-chamber on the walls here. I'll just give you the general gist of that. Was about Maelstrom and the truths, and there was bits about
Maelstrom and the truths. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I saw them a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there was some stuff about the creator as well. That's really the gist of what you would get from it.
Cool. Alright. And then we got all our stuff, and then we decided to... The option to us was to go on to another temple, or to head to a lizard folk village, and we chose...
So Thurwag said he had been awake all night. You guys saw the light the candle in his tent going all night. He sort of stumbles out in the morning, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so buoyed by this discovery we've made here. I'm ready to push on to the next temple. I've got a fairly good idea for it, I guess my eagerness to get to the next temple may be a bit placed, because we do probably need to go chat to the lizard folk, and we're quite close to their village from the map that the lizard folk we encountered sort of have given us, we could probably get quite close to their village here, and maybe I could have a bit of a robust discussion with the chief there as to why we're being attacked all of a sudden. And you guys said, well, let's go to the chief and talk to the chief.
I think we should go to the temple instead.
That's a good idea.
I think we should go back to where we started at the beach.
I'll see you guys next week.
We're going back to that cave that we didn't properly investigate because we just slept and fucked off.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, cool. Well, summary up and send it through tomorrow, guys. Fuckwits
Brilliant.
changed their mind and decided to go to the temple.
My glorious fuckwits decided
Yeah.
to change their mind.
Yes, my glorious heroic fuckwits.
Yeah.
So you guys have decided to head to the village. Very good. Very probably wise. It will make the jungle safer for us, I think, when my travels through to the depths of the wilds. I was not met with any hostilities by a warrior nor a lizard folk. In fact, I suspect they were even guiding me and keeping some of the more wild creatures away from me. So I think perhaps talking to the chief there and seeing what might be the issue might be a good course of action. So you guys start packing down the camp. This camp was sort of partially set up. It was relatively abandoned, pretty quickly abandoned from Thurwag. He'd left some stuff here. And he sort of, as you guys start to pack down the tents, he's like, I suspect we'll be coming back this way, boys. May as well leave the tents as they are. I think the next temple is over that ridge there and down in the valley. So you sort of pack up too much stuff, and so just before you push off, you sit by the sort of a dying campfire from your breakfast that you've cooked to sort of steel yourselves for the day ahead, and you've got a cup of Thurwag's Avasart brew coffee. Sipping on that. It's a drink that he's been preparing for you occasionally throughout this, and it's quite a creamy, rich coffee, and it's quite warm, like when you drink it, obviously, but it sort of warms you from within. It's really quite refreshing despite the humidity that is growing in the day. But it's actually quite a pleasant way to start the days. As you're sort of sipping there and the fire's dying out, quite thick smoke coming up now as the sort of embers are sort of that last little bit of fire is burning out of them. Can you roll a perception check for me, please?
Oh, sorry. Yes.
The man who did not.
Hey. Sorry, I was looking at the map. I was just seeing where we're all going.
Okay. Zom, you're sitting there sipping and you sort of...
Get the character.
And as you sort of got your head tilted back, you're like, ooh! Smoke. The wind just blows the smoke away. You just see a flash of light. It's a glimmer.
Pee on the fire.
Okay. Just a glimmer. There's like a puff of like this acrid steam coming off as you pee on the fire. The ridge here. So you guys are sort of sitting around this campfire here. This ridge here extends up and around. Raw, so it kind of goes that way.
Sorry, what do you...
Oh yeah, scroll
You
out.
see it over the other side? Yeah. Sort of extends around and quite high. You're sipping on your coffee and the smoke wind just blows subtly, and the smoke column of smoke changes angle just slightly. And see a flash of this glimmer of light on the top of the ridge. Your eyes drawn to it. You're immediately just like, whoa, what was that? What was that? And
What was that?
just as quickly as you saw
What
it,
was that?
it's gone. And you instinctively you remember the telescope you picked up, the captain's telescope you picked up on the beach. So you're up, get out and have a look, and
Pick that up.
all you see is just some palm fronds just moving as if someone's pushing through them. And you notice
Someone
just the back of a coat.
or something.
The coat to you looks familiar. You recognize the coat as the coat of the hunter you saw when you were on your second ambush walking through the Cascades.
The elfin guy?
Yeah, the elfin guy. You sense a couple of things. You sense that his telescope was fixed squarely upon you. It was looking straight at you, and it reminds you of when you were younger. There was a river near your town, and one day,
Yeah.
on one day you were young and you were playing in the river, and got out and sort of looked across, and you realised that there was a crocodile. It was across the banks of the river, and it sort of into the water, and it was just watching, and you guys sort of stared, and it just sat and watched you from a distance. You were aware of its presence and that unpleasant, unsettling feeling that you were being hunted. That's similar to what you sense now. That feeling, being watched by this beast that, whatever it is that wants to, is clearly a killer. It's watching you. Right.
Okay. Well,
It's gone now. You're looking around, you're scanning with the telescope, and the jungle looks gets so homogeneous that you can't even really detect where it was it was watching you from. It's disappeared into the jungle.
Can I just relay a simple message, something along the lines of, I think there's something over there.
You can do what you want.
Hang on a sec. Let me just find a good image. One.
Something over there.
But yeah, that sort of thing.
I mean, make
Something in those trees over there.
Arnie's face a goat's face and the other guy an elephant, and yeah, basically that's what we're talking about here.
I think we look pretty similar.
Yeah.
What's over there? Oi, only cowards hide in the shadows. Come out. Duh.
I'm presuming that you're sort of like stood up and you're looking around now, and what is it, Tom? What,
Sorry, how
are you talking
far
about?
away was this that I'm... It's 500 meters, we're just going to be wary if it's like 50 meters.
No. It's a lot. Like, looking through your telescope, you see the area where it was is a large area. You don't see the defined picture of the person or the specific palm fronds moving. Looking through the telescope, it's a high quality nautical telescope. You are seeing an area, not an individual palm tree frond, if that makes sense. So it's a fair ways away.
So yeah, no, I'll just let the others know that I think there's someone over there. Feels like they might be watching us.
Did you catch it?
Keep your eyes
Nature's on.
Sorry?
Have scales or skin?
I didn't catch sight of it. I can just see something moving in those trees over there.
Suspect that they are being watched by the lizard folk. Noticed a few telltale signs. It was probably one of them, I would say.
I can sense it. I can sense that we're being watched.
Sense it as well.
Sense that, can you? Oh dear.
Boing, boing, boing. And so, is there anything else you guys want to do in this area here?
We should move along very quickly. Move along.
Alright. So, getting off for the day, you guys have packed up a few things, left the tents there. Follow the rough directions that were drawn on the map. It's not easy going. Say it's easy going, but you work your way through, back onto the ridge, over this side here, and you're following the directions that family had drawn for you. You walk for about an hour, and then you notice that the paths are getting sort of more well worn, and Thurwag notes that he has not passed this way, but there is an abundance of lizard folk tracks in the dirt and the mud and the undergrowth. Although he sort of thinks, well,
can we? Let's see. Can Zom get request from Thurwag some sort of like tracking type training, like help me identify tracks of the lizards and stuff?
Very good idea, Zom. It's always good to have a couple of trackers in the party in case we get separated. Come look. Do a wisdom check, please.
Is that a wisdom check? Sorry, you cut out right as you said it.
A wisdom check, yeah.
It was wisdom, yeah.
Yeah, so you're following his description, you're listening to what he's saying quite well. And now could you do an animal handling check, please?
Animal handling.
Handling.
Is he
So
touching
you-
Bob?
I
He's handling that.
wasn't sure what else to do, but basically he's sort of rubbing his hands around the imprints, and he's getting a pretty good feel for depth, the shape, the size of the imprints that the lizard folk make. And yes, you are now able to a pretty good idea at tracking the lizard folk as well, and you recognise that. Yep. Okay,
Can I put
I
that
see.
as a proficiency?
Sure, tracking lizard folk can be a proficiency. Sure. You are now proficient in tracking lizard folk after a 5-minute lesson.
I mean,
With it.
to be fair, like you can be proficient at walking up the stairs. It doesn't take much effort, but you can still be
You can be
at it.
proficient at rolling ones as well. It's
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
you can be proficient at anything, can't you?
Well, you can't actually be proficient at that because, well, okay, I go. Okay.
A Gaon is very proficient at rolling ones.
Yes, yeah.
That's true. Yeah. In the Thurwag notes, that sort of like in the deeper jungle, lizard folk travelled in the trees. They kind of were sneaky, trying to hide their movements. Here, they're just not bothering. They're walking around on the ground. There's a lot more tracks. And Zom, now that you've been shown what the tracks look like, you're like, yeah, I can see them. They're all over the place. And you sort of point some out. Oh yeah, over there in the leaves. I can see some there on the path here in the mud over there. It's like a swampy bit. Oh yeah, they're climbing out over there. Yep, cool.
There's lizards all over the place.
All over the place. They're everywhere here.
Entire area is replete with lizards.
And
Lizards
Iris.
as far as the eye can see.
as well as Zom's crapping on about the tracks everywhere, you're like, whatever. And
Yeah, no, I instantly just audibly sighed when they started doing this, and I just went to the back and just sat down.
I kind of picture you that you might actually go and try and climb up a bit of a stump there, to try and look around to where you're headed.
I was not going to, but I can if that's what the DM thinks I should be doing.
I kind of picture you sort of wandering off, looking around at this point, because you sort of don't want to listen to Zom eagerly and Thurwag eagerly talk to each other.
Iris is very, I don't want to be hanging out in a jungle. I miss my building that I used to live in. And this is
near the edge of the freaking jungle.
Yeah, this is not my ideal place to hang out. So I'm just like sitting down, trying to keep my cool, waiting to get to a quote unquote village.
Bob, you're doing the standard goat thing and climbing on shit. So you're climbing up a bit of a stump here, and you're looking ahead, and you go, oh, there's some. Actually, roll a perception check. Yeah, there's some plumes of smoke in the distance. They're quite centered in a small location. There's a couple of very subtle plumes of smoke. Anyway, what do you want to do with that information?
I see signs of life this way.
Like, oh yes, we must be getting. Ah yes, very good. We're getting close. And sort of keep walking a bit closer to this village, supposed village, and you notice that it starts to get swampier.
Do the
getting-
lizard folk know about fermentation?
Yeah, they would.
Ah, excellent. Let's kill something for an ale.
Guys sort of get to an area that looks.
Kill a hunter.
Thank you guys on here.
Are you holding your phone with your hand, Ian?
No? Why?
It's just jerking constantly. Back
Oh,
and forth.
well, I'm on a laptop,
But
but it's only resting on my lap, so
So
anytime I type, it's like da 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 da.
ah, I see.
Alright. Dave,
Apologies for the vertigo. Or
No, I just noticed it. It's weird.
guys are pushing along here, and yeah, you notice it gets a bit swampy, and you start following along this swampy, marshy stream here. Can you roll a perception check, please?
all of us?
All of us.
All of you.
Ooh. Come on, better than abilities and skills.
Bear.
Perception. Yes. Sweet.
Ooh. Great. Ramrod.
Oh, of course, Ramrod. Hang on.
Oh boy, I see it over there.
I just caught me off guard.
As you guys sort of just move your wall for
Oh, 6. Jeez.
this bit here.
Yeah, I just noticed that too.
This guys sort of get to here and they're like doom 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 doom. You'll just notice this unnatural movement in the water. Sort
Does
of,
it look like anything particular, like an animal, or is it just the water is doing funky stuff?
Swamp bear.
roll a nature check for me.
Graham doesn't know anything about nature, so
You do recognise that this clearly something underneath the water that's moving. That's following
Towards us. Following us.
eyes now.
It's crocodile.
Graham's
So
gonna-
who noticed it? Was it so Ramrod?
Graham's
It
gonna
was all.
pop up
It was
onto that
all.
big rock.
All quite clear. You guys, you all have seen it, except for Bob. Everyone else would have. Yeah.
Graham's up on
Even-
this rock trying to get a higher vantage point to look down at whatever it is.
Thurwag
Yeah, I
clambers up there too. Then you hear
Can we?
Thurwag go, here we go. I was wondering when we would cross paths with a patrol. Without question, they've been following us most of the day.
What are you talking about?
This would be the lizard folk. They would have been
Or-
tracking us. They wouldn't want us
Fine.
moving this close to their settlement.
Should we? I mean, they know we're here, right?
I would imagine so. I mean, notice that as we've stopped, they've stopped.
Should we ask for an escort to the village then?
Hello.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Also,
Good thinking, Zom.
thank you.
Potentially, it might be a good idea. As you guys are let me just. It's been a while. Sorry. As you guys are discussing your next sort of move with like just supreme ease, these three lizard folk just climb out the water. It's swampy, like it's all they've got like algae sort of dripping and oozing off of them. Their swords are still shiny. Their shields still solid looking, and their hulking muscles. Fierce beast staring straight in front of you. You're approaching our home. State your intentions or be on your way.
Hello. We rescued a family from a bear, and they invited us sort of to the village, so we were going to come and meet with the elder.
Many refugees come. I've heard no such orders.
Well, I don't know if they've made it there yet. I don't think they were refugees. They lived there. They were just trying to get home. We helped them. They were attacked by this giant bear.
Pulls out the bear claws at this point.
I don't believe there
God,
were any
yeah, I
such
could bear claw.
orders exactly either. It was more of a casual invitation from the family because we helped rescue them, that's all. Not likely something that you would hear about, especially if you've been out on patrol for many days on end and eating all of the
Left
bugs and
this
leaves
morning.
in the forests. And
We were told there were attacks by strangers in the area, and while we are strangers in the area, we are not.
6 strangers stand before us. Why should we trust you?
Why shouldn't you trust me, Big Smile?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Graham's still brandishing these bear claws that he's ripped out.
Iris stands up and like her super like big smile on her face and is just like, we would really, really like it if we could get a good night's sleep somewhere because we've been sleeping in the jungle and I really need some rest.
That's how you smile all the time. That was fantastic. Oh, I want to see more of that from you in the future. You seem to have been so down lately.
You talk
Give me
too
that smile
much.
again.
You talk too much, horned man.
Horny man.
Wait, is that him with the horns or him with the horns?
Quiet, girl.
These are
Wow.
tusks. I'll have you know.
Rude.
And they sort of, the three of them. One of the this guy here. He sort of leans towards the.
Which one?
This guy here, closest to the creek, leans towards this guy and have a conversation.
Your cursor, if you're doing the what's it called, the burst?
It's on.
The click burst
it's
is not on. Yeah,
It's because it's on the wrong layer.
Yeah.
there we go.
These guys here sort of have a conversation. Graham, can you roll a perception check, please? Just. I won't. Put the full conversation in there because it's. I don't want to type it all up, but the gist is.
I'm just going to go and grab another beer.
I wish I had one more. Alas.
Gonna do a Tim Tam Slam at some point.
And there's
Does-
more.
Graham's gonna telepathically tell the group that the young soldier's trying to convince the leader to kill us all. Seems like the leader isn't interested, but just be aware. Keep your wits about you.
Roll
Understood.
a perception check, Graham. You can all roll a perception check.
Oh, I just switched to spells. Hold on 1 second. Perception check.
But what about our awesome smile?
And my bear claws.
Oh,
Giant bear claws.
I mean, they're not giant bear claws.
Seeing as Phil isn't here, and you guys have all like the average passes, I'll just say that the you look at the face of the guy who's leading the patrol, the guy in the middle, and he is intimidating, definitely intimidating. But you equally detect some fear in his face. He's got fear in his eyes. You're not quite sure why. And these two guys have a bit more of a back and forth. We'll take you to this sanctuary. It's not far from here. King may make time to speak to you, but there have been stories of strangers.
Sorry. Sorry, King.
Graham says, "We mean you no harm."
Sorry, I think your tongue's just a little long for the syllable. Was that King?
So it's actually meant to be Chief Thursl.
Sorry, Deef Thurls?
Chief Thursel?
Chief
got it.
Thursl.
Okay, Chief Thursel.
No, Deef Thurs.
Have been stories of strangers filtering in from the refugees, the more remote villages. We'll take our precautions.
Sure,
Kiss your hands out.
Absolutely.
Will be restrained.
Uh,
If you flee, you come as enemies. If you attack us, we'll kill you. We'll make a delicious feast.
Oh,
Since honor.
feast.
I mean,
I'm actually
I'd
getting
make more of
hungry.
a.
Awesome.
I mean, I'd make more of a bone broth with. But yeah, okay, we get it.
Wag steps forward with his arms out.
Now this guy.
We mean you no harm.
I had an agreement with your tribe and for free passage for myself and my companions, yet I have been attacked no less than twice by your kinds on your lands. I wish to speak with the chief. Matter of urgency. Come. Comes out. Let them restrain us all.
Yeah, we want to talk to the chief, and I particularly like the sound of this feast that you were talking about.
We have we insight checked these guys at all?
Absolutely not.
I'd like to.
Why would we do that?
Yeah, would we like to? No,
They
of
seem
course
like
we would not.
honest chaps.
Yes, can insight check them, please?
May insight check them.
How did I just do?
Which okay. Because we've had the conversation now, which part of it do you want to insight check?
Well, I missed a bit of it, but
The bit you
Part
missed
of it.
is one of the soldiers was trying to convince the patrol leader to kill you all. The patrol leader didn't want a bar of it, and he also looks very scared. There's a fear in his eyes.
yeah. So I want to check whether they're part of the tribe.
Pardon? Out of the main tribe. Like if they're
Yeah.
going to take you to their village,
Yeah, if that's the intention.
insight check away.
Hey.
Be quiet. They're binding all your hands. Then
That's a fine how do you do.
What? Hang on. How do we get there?
They're binding our hands.
they're binding Thurwag's hands.
Oh.
They said they're going to take precautions. Place your hands out, you will be restrained.
Hold on. I don't have my spells readily available at the moment.
I would like to resist that.
Like to resist that. So Thurwag has already restrained at this point. They're going to refuse.
We're not.
I'll repeat what they said. We take precautions. If you wish to come with us, place your hands out. We'll be restrained. If you flee, we'll come after you as enemies.
No. See,
If
this
you
sounds,
attack us, we'll come after you. Now,
sounds
tribes,
unnecessarily opprobrious. This is not
you
the
will make
agreement.
a great feast in Sin's honor.
This
We
is
have
not how it sounded
heard.
from that family.
We have heard of the stories that is happening in the jungle. How do we know you are not strangers? You come for
How do
our...
we know you're not strangers?
We are strangers.
You look like lizards, but
How do we know you don't come for our hide?
Because
Our
Do you
children
see any hides on us?
and
hide.
We
have
literally
tried to take
have-
your hides.
Graham is bare-chested at this point.
Stories they tell. Strangers don't carry their hides with them.
Okay, I see what the problem is. Okay,
They
Um,
raid
do
our
you, do you see, sir, do you see our group?
Yes.
Do any of us look like the kind of stealthy, horrific people who would sneak up on a group of lizard folk and kill them for no reason, skin them, and then, do they take the hides afterwards?
The
I
lizard
don't know. What
folk.
did we
No,
see
no,
in that cave?
I'm not asking you, the DM. I'm saying that to him.
Do we even
Because-
have a dagger between any of us?
We slaughter our tribes and take our
I don't-
hides.
We
Yeah,
did
we-
find that one dagger.
At this point, they look up and down Graham and see a dagger. They look at Bob. He's got, I think he has armor, studded leather armor on.
Is that the guy who was wearing this? And I
Okay.
take out my giant bloodied apron that I had that is way
18
too
feet
big
long.
for me. It's way too big for me, and I'm like, we found this at one of the lizard folk encampments.
Why would you have that?
Because I feel like this is a very crucial piece of evidence to finding out who did this.
Why would you have that if you're not here for our skins?
We're trying to find the owner of it. You can see none of us are tall enough to wear it.
I put it on and
And they
immediately
just-
trudge on it.
They. Really, it's not yours, girl.
Well, yeah, why
What
would I...
about- What about him? I just-
Wait, so Graham?
Who? Zom.
Oh.
It's also, and then I try and put it around Zom, but it is far too small to fit around Zom's giant elephantine head.
I picture like the kids' aprons where it's got the Velcro strap at the back. Because Velcro is a thing in this world.
Ah, wow, outmaneuvered by the DM again. Alright. Just even if it were his, why would I carry around something that is too big and bloody? Why wouldn't I clean it?
Bob points at Zom. Does he really look like the bloodthirsty, skinning type?
Indeed, girl. Why would you?
I literally would not do anything if it did not benefit me. So
Looks at Zom with fun guy on his t-shirt. Really?
fine.
Pay them the respect they deserve as the custodians of these sacred southern wilds.
God, you are just the worst, there, Wag. Sometimes, and I put my arms out.
Very good.
And Iris goes invisible.
Don't
You've been just
spoil
waiting
it.
there. Where's the feast?
King will decide if you can be unbound. The chief will decide if you will be unbound. Is wise. Know what to do.
Chief of who? Chief of the village that we're heading towards?
Chief of the lizard folk.
Is he in the
Chief.
village that we're heading towards?
Malkin. 'Tis his sanctuary.
Is he in the village that we're heading towards?
Yes. Not coming for his hide, are you?
Inside check. Inside check.
Graham, do you want to roll an insight check on that?
Yeah, why not? I'll believe anything.
I mean, these guys are convincing. They are convincing.
Maybe it's the lisp. I don't know. But
All I know is that this voice hurts my throat. So let's wrap this conversation up, guys.
Can you tell us everything about the village before we get there?
Yeah.
You will soon
Do they have a spa?
see, or will like the spa.
Massage
I'm told
parlor.
that you
Do
are-
they have happy
I'm told that
ending?
you're a bit of a poet. Why don't you regale us with some of your fantastic poetry?
So are you all bind in your hands, or any of you going to resist or try and subterfuge or anything like that?
I would like to implore that we will follow them to the village, but I would not like to be bound. We're not prisoners. We were
Persuasion check.
invited here.
Persuasion check. King's sanctuary.
Fine, but you're not taking my weapons.
Fine. Knowles, keep your weapons. But yeah. Does anyone want to do anything to not have there? Apart from you failed to convince them.
Ah, okay.
Cool.
What's the worst of times?
Nope.
Yeah, you can, Iris. You can roll a persuasion check as well as you read it to them.
No. I was going to get you to make something up as reading it verbatim.
Do you want me to tell you?
No. I was fucking around to get you to do the voice for more. That's fine. I'll do the.
But no, I mean that's a good way to try and convince these guys not to bind you up.
Yeah.
They're lizard folk. Their intelligence isn't overly
Persuasion,
high. Performance, actually, I think. Would probably be...
deception, performance.
Oh, I mean, you guys, it wouldn't be deception because you actually haven't skinned any lizard folk recently.
That's true.
So, are you going to try and put the emphasis on persuading them? Like,
Yeah, it's persuasion.
Okay,
Sure.
persuasion. Yeah.
I've got a.
I'm thinking, Zom should have.
Very well. You guys, you are not. You have convinced me. You are not the strangers who have been butchering our lands, our people. It will be up to the king what your fate is.
I mean, that being said, you're not allied with some like mindless crab people, right? Because we have butchered them
And eaten their flesh.
and then eaten them. But I think they might have been just crabs.
What are you talking about, girl?
We were on the beach a few days back, and there were some crabs that attacked our small hut.
What is a beach?
It's where the land meets the sea, but it's kind of like very tiny,
Similar to this,
minuscule
but-
rocks.
I know not what you speak of. Enough talk. Let us leave.
I start walking, but I also say, "Have you not? You live on this island. Have you not been to the edge of the island?"
Jungle is my home.
The jungle goes to the edge of the island.
I mean, it's pretty close to the edge of the island, and then there's the beach.
Yeah, and the jungle's not huge.
Jungle is my home.
You need to get
No,
yourself out more.
The jungle is massive.
Well, the city is my home, and I'm here, so things change.
We
You
have
can
The
bet you.
mountain. Have you been to the mountains?
different ways of life, shall we say. I have seen what I need to see. My responsibilities in the camp.
Graham telepathically says to the others, "These guys are pretty small-minded, close-minded.
Wow.
Let's just get on.
I
Let's
just
get
looked
on
at
with it."
Graham like, wow, that. Phew.
Enough talking.
Racist.
And then you guys, they walk at a pretty reasonable pace. Where do you want to drink?
Oh yeah,
They pass you a water bag, like a
from theirs or ours?
theirs.
Okay, I fake sip and then hand it off.
It's. No one else want to try some?
No, we're good.
Can I smell it first with my trunk,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
surreptitiously?
You can investigate.
Did they tie up his trunk as well?
No, they did not.
That's a good.
What am I doing? Investigate.
They've done cat's cradle across his trunk. To keep his...
It's water in the water bag.
It's water. I will take a small sip.
Water and
Then you guys, and they're relatively. They're not being like they're offering you drink. One point you sort of get to a tree and there's some berries and fruit on it, and they start eating them. It's safe. You want some?
Yep.
I'm going to insight check to see whether they're trying to do anything.
You can insight check. I mean, they're eating the berries. They offer you the berries. They're not vomiting and shitting everywhere, so
Makes sense to me. I'm going to eat some berries.
Oh,
they're deliciously
berries.
sweet.
Nom, nom, nom.
It's like honey.
They give you a strength of 24.
No, they do not. But you could never sleep again.
I waited until you guys had the means to get out of that.
Alright, and then let me just guys, trotting through the jungle. Should I block this map off? No, I don't think I will.
No need to go emo, Graham.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Oh man,
Uh,
he sucks. Just remember, lengthways for results, sideways for attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, down the road, not across the street. Yes.
Oh, jeez, terrible.
Yeah, that is not good.
Oh dear.
Graham, you're
That was-
still, I think, young. You have so much to live for.
Oh, that was meant to go to the DM, but
He just whispers He whispers it out loud, and we're like, I just exchanged like a worried glance with Bob.
It's got some cross.
Okay, I just saw what
wires.
just saw what you guys were looking at. Yeah. I'm just gonna go get another beer.
That's a good idea.
I think the intent might have been to fight them on this map.
Not
as opposed to just wander off.
Yeah, well, there's a map here for it. Like,
To make
Yeah, but
Simon
he was
do the
making
voice
maps for
as
lots-
long as possible.
eh?
You would come with me. I was debating to fight them, but Thurwag seems like it would cause more problems than it would solve.
Bob gets tied up. I either get Alexa's help, or I just go into my ring for half a second. The ropes fall off and pop back out again.
Exactly. Exactly. I can just snap the ropes.
Yeah.
I can misty that.
I guess it depends how honest these guys actually are. Where we're going.
Ooh, blurry.
You guys got that map there?
Oh yeah.
Zoom
It's like a
out,
village.
and then zoom in. And no, that didn't do anything. Zoom out again. And
A
zoom in again.
massive. It's a massive.
It looks good. For once, mine actually worked.
No, mine is not working yet.
Yeah,
Took a
no,
little
mine
while to
worked
load
first
up.
time as well.
Give Ian.
It'll take a
internet
while to load
little
up.
while.
Yeah. But that's alright. I'll describe. After about a bit of time, but it doesn't take too long, and a walled settlement comes into view. It's subtly hidden. You're expecting to see a settlement of some kind, so it's kind of clear when you're walking along and you can kind of see where the path is going. You're like, oh yeah, there it is. You just sort of pause and you think, if I wasn't on a path heading to a settlement, if I was just walking through here, I would very easily miss this place. It's really, like, it's quite big, but you guys, it's quite well hidden. it's sort of quite camouflaged. You could quite easily walk past it and not notice it. You guys get to the point where you are on the map there, and there's these two wooden towers that are sort of, they're made from the local, what's available. So there's sort of thin wooden, like sort of palm branches, trunks, and there's fronds over them, and there's two pretty heavily armed lizard folk on each. So there's one in each one, and they sense you, they see your approach, and they sort of turn to face you, and they see the other guys coming, and you Graham, roll a perception check. It's not as clear as it normally would be in your mind of what you would hear. Can't quite make out what they're saying, but it's something along the lines of
strangers.
I mean, did you say that out loud, Graham?
like that,
They
and then
can't hear.
and then just kind of gibberishy kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. They can't tell.
In return, and it's clearly they've called out for the people who are escorting you. You hear them.
Lotus ball.
And Graham, roll a perception check.
Hang on. Yeah.
You got nothing. You adjust, sort of adjust the thing on your hand, and it's almost, you kind of like need to tune it, and you notice that I think it's come a little bit loose, so you just wriggle it back into place.
Hey, everybody drink.
Nadia's made a
Did she-
cameo. Only Ian can see you though, Nadia.
Oh.
Wait, what? Am I the only one that can see Mike?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm the
Oh,
only one.
what?
You're the only one I can see.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's still spinning for me.
I can see all of
That's
you.
No, I can't see Mike either. Mike's the only one I can't see.
But no, I had never actually met with the chief himself. It's quite interesting, actually. I put out word from early patrols when I first came across that I wished to make an appointment with him, but I only ever met with some of his emissaries. It was all done sort of second and third hand. It is quite, I think we should be taking it as quite an honor to be entering this sanctuary that they've got here. It's clearly quite a sacred spot for them. A big deal for us to get into here.
But
You
know,
would lay
someone-
down on the sacrificial altar if you thought it was a big deal here, wouldn't you?
Yes, it is a very sacred land here. These humble lizard folk here have been tasked with the job of protecting the southern wilds, which I'm becoming more and more confident in my theory that this is indeed the sacred lands of Finth down here. Fascinating.
Isn't this just, fucking village? This is their house. This is where they live. Of course they don't want us there.
This is the chief's sanctuary. This is a
Wherever the chief is sacred, is it?
obviously it would be the highest, most highly protected and sacred space of the lizard folk, I would presume. But let's find out, shall we?
But you met
Yeah,
with
but
some emissaries, so you've got some names or some sort of in if the villagers we rescued didn't spread any word that we were coming and that we're nice people.
I'd have to recall my notes to get a name, but yes, I did have. I met with a couple. I feasted with a couple of them. I was able to establish a good relationship with them enough that they would let me down here. I'm one of the first to get this deep within the Southern Wilds. I'm one of the first people, to my knowledge, to get down here.
Oh, well, better think fast. Our lives may depend on it.
I do feel that we are in potential mortal danger, Bob. It is correct. Be careful what you say.
If
Oh,
we can
He
always.
looks
if we can
directly
come
at
across
Zom
a
as he says
nice
that.
family, if we can come across a nice family that we saved, they're going to vouch for us. We
Hopefully.
should be alright.
Definitely
No,
remember
wait,
you,
wait.
Zom.
That would be the plan, Zom. That would be the plan. Otherwise, we're going to have to rely on our natural charm. Oh dear. Let's hope the family are here.
Fear not. Fear not.
and while you guys are talking amongst yourself, you've now noticed that the gate is opened and you're being led through the gate here. I won't move you through the map. I'll just describe what's going on inside there. So you sort of get into sort of here. I'll just move this guy instead of all of you. He turns around. In the sanctuary now. Need to be held until the king decides. Follow me. And you walk in through the gate. Well, what do you guys want to do?
Left or
I
right?
guess we go.
He's going. He's going.
Aren't the guards like taking it? Okay.
They're kind of
loitering.
that guy's in front, and these two other guys sort of fall behind you now, and sort of kind of at the front, two at the back, and they're sort of like escorting you.
Are they keeping a constant eye on us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we're walking through, we're keeping our eyes peeled, looking for the family that we helped. Just
Yeah.
in case.
So you see a number of lizard folk looking towards you now. There's houses in the village, and this was the best map that I could find, but it's not exactly what I wanted, but it's kind of pretty close. So picture the stuff that's there are the well-constructed huts, but there's also quite a lot of improvised shanties. So as you're walking all along the wall here, there's a bunch of shanties that have been knocked together along here, along the banks here, along here. All sort of smaller, clearly slapped together quite quickly shelters. There's a number of lizard folk families sitting under these shelters around little makeshift fires. Clearly don't have they don't have a home in this place. They clearly like come from elsewhere. Might have some simple belongings with them. Bob, can you do a perception check, please?
Oh no.
Oh, you're looking around trying to find this family, and you see them, and you recognise the little totem that Thurwag rolled his ankle on, and you're like, oh, hey, over there. You sort of point over this way to them. They're sort of on the banks over here, and your heart sort of warms briefly as you notice that the son, who was wounded when you guys met them, appears to have been healed, which was good. So you know he's sort of playing by the bank there with his brothers, his sisters. You don't really know the anatomy or if they're male or female kids, but you're like, oh, that's good. And it kind of the way they're playing it reminds me of your kids.
Maybe there's
You're like,
four
ah.
different sexes.
Ah, good.
Do not pick them up to check, Bob.
The little fella's all good now. It's nice to
Bob
see.
pick- Bob
Probably
picks
guys-
a kid up to check, and he's got this huge.
Picture it's kind of like a turtle. You have to go in the backside and wriggle around to kind of feel what's there. Don't mind me.
Scientific reasons.
So you guys get up to this point here, and from here you get a really good vantage point of this sort of central plaza. It's filled with a number of heavily armored lizard folk. This fire here has sort of something on a rotisserie, partially eaten. Can't really tell. Some sort of beast that's big, and these lizard folk that are in that area are squatting and eating it. And they've got their weapons sort of spiked in the ground, and you're like, and there's probably about 20 to 30 of them. It's hard to tell.
What is
Hey.
the feel from them when they look at us? Are they
They sort of like look at you, but they're like,
indifferent?
they're not indifferent. They're cautious. And Graham, you notice that there's actually quite a lot of goblin heads on the ground around them.
Goblins.
You kind of like, well, not a lot, but there's probably like 5 or 6.
Recent, newly
It's hard to
goblin?
tell. It's hard to tell from the distance. This distance. But you notice that a couple of the actually Zom roller perception.
Are those just Red Dead
Oh, sorry,
Redemption
Zom-
2
Zom.
comment?
Yeah, I mean, you notice that a couple of their heads seem to have like pooled liquid kind underneath them. Maybe it's blood. Maybe it's like brain spinal fluid. Who knows? But there's some like they look relatively fresh to you. And then you notice that some of the warriors who are eating, they kind of got wounds, open wounds and stuff on them. So you're like, these guys must have just returned from some sort of fight, and they've got goblins killed. And you notice that there's a few other on a couple of the ramparts around here. There's some goblin heads that have been spiked up too. Ahead of you guys here, there's a massive waterfall leading down into a deep pool within the settlement's border, and there's a few little huts and stuff. And at that point, you notice that he is leading you to this spot here. And there's these 6 natural, seemingly lizard folk constructed pools on the side of this lake. Each one of them has a pole sticking out of the middle of it.
Sorry, did you say natural constructed pools?
Lizard folk have dug them. It's pretty clear to see that they've been man or lizard folk made. They've each got a pole in the middle of them. And they're about 3 to 4 foot deep. Are we pointing at?
Pointing at Phil.
Why? Naturally constructed basins. Can you design this natural basin, please?
Naturally artificial.
Thin. Thin designed and made it.
All living in Thing's glorious creation. As you reach the edge of these pools, the sort of the leader of the patrol.
Leader of the pack.
Vroom.
Each of you to a pit.
Sorry, what was that?
Get in.
Get in?
Each
Get
of you
in.
to a pool.
Can I just make a note here, sir, that Graham here is only 4 feet tall and will probably drown if he gets in.
Hello. And he.
You know what that? What about Ramrod?
He goes.
Ramrod's
he goes,
taller than that.
Isn't Ramrod only like 3 foot?
No. Ramrod's he's probably...
It's like 5 foot, right?
Yeah. He's like a human with rabbit ears.
I thought he was meant to be small.
No.
And he goes.
Graham is 3.1 foot tall.
A Harangon.
The back corner is the shallow one. Would be okay. He points to Thurwak, you in the middle one at the back. And he points to you, Iris, you in this one. So he's basically saying these 3 here are shallower. Because your 3 is smaller, you should get in those ones.
Okay, alright.
Graham's going to question why. Why?
Like I said, strangers around. It's up to Chief to decide whether we trust you or not.
And the chief's in the lake?
Sure.
Why here?
Okay, whatever you say, mister.
This is where we keep our prey.
Pray.
Sorry,
May or may
pray?
That's not very nice.
This is where you pray?
This is where we keep our prey. Depending
No.
on what the Chief says, you may become our prey.
I think you're having trouble conjugating the verb. It's actually, this is where you do praying, not where you keep
The
prey.
hole. In the hole, girl.
In the whole girl.
The hole.
That's
Girl.
more of a pool, but it's alright, it's fine. I mean, common isn't everyone's first language, I understand that. And she slowly makes her way into the pool.
As you get to the edge, his tail whacks you in.
Oh!
It's like
All
a little
right.
slap on the butt.
Oh.
This is
No,
very
it wasn't a slap on the butt. It was a firm slap across the shoulders to get you in the
Problematic.
water.
Yeah.
You need consent before you touch people there.
Yeah.
Then he he puts you all in, then
Block.
goes into Thurwag's pit, ties him up, goes into Zom's pit, ties you up to the pole. Are you going to resist or anything?
But this is
Eyes us to the pole.
No. No.
Pops into Graham's, starts tying you to the pole. Are you going to do anything, Graham? Are you
Graham's-
still...
Oh wait, did they tie us to the pole?
He's getting in and tying you each to the pole.
Okay. When he gets to me, I'll do something.
Graham's gonna
The same thing he did last
accept
time.
it. Yep.
Bob hops into yours.
Is this
As you
part
are.
of the feast preparation?
I'm getting hungry.
Said,
Once we can explain everything, everything is going to be fine.
need to take the adequate precautions. Don't like strangers in our sanctuary. The best of times are in the worst of times now.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as the chief will be along shortly, I'm sure everything's fine.
And at this point, just for the sake of it, I'll just... You guys are sort of making a bit of a commotion over here. And you're getting a bit of a crowd now. These guys are sort of walking from that central plaza. What I got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll put one of these blokes there too. Some of those warriors are coming over to see what's going on. So who? Ramrod. He's jumped in with Ramrod. A tie up Ramrod. Is Ramrod going to do anything?
Ramrod?
Ramrod.
Oh, sorry. Ramrod. Ramrod is going to.
Sorry, he's...
When I say
So-
he's tying you in. He's basically just attaching you guys to the pole. You can walk around. Your hands are free, but he's just making sure you don't
Are we
You
got
can't
like a
away.
leash on,
run off. Yeah, basically, you've just a leash.
or to our feet, or to our neck? Or...
Alright, no, Ramrod's not going to resist that particular.
Right.
thing.
Oh, fine, you can do it. Go on. Yeah, get it over with.
Wise decision. Can I do anything, or just let him tie you up?
I can assure you, I don't taste any good though. Look at all this fat.
He holds up a muscly leg.
Bob gonna do anything?
No.
So you gonna let him? Harris, are you gonna do anything?
Yeah, when he gets to me, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, hey, can you actually not tie me up? Thanks." Can you make him wisdom saving throw, please, Mr. DM?
Will.
That was worth a shot.
No, it definitely was. What was the throw that he had to...
15.
Your tricks won't work on me.
Tricks. I was just asking you not to... ow, ow, ow.
I know what you were doing.
Tricks are for kids. This lizard's not a silly rabbit.
Once you're all tied up, he sort of comes, the guy who's escorting you kind of comes to here.
Did you step on something?
And these guys part. And a new figure appears, and he is quite a bit bigger than all of the others. Here. That's him kneeling. No smart-ass comments about how you can't see his feet. He's probably the
Zom.
biggest. He's
Yeah.
not as he's
5
not
foot tall.
not as big as that first attack you had from the lizard folk. He's like weird beast ones. This guy's probably like 6.5 foot tall. He's a big guy, and he gets there. He sort of looks over. The one who's been escorting you this time. These strangers want an audience with you. Thurwag jumps out at this point. Great ruler, we wish to clear up the current misunderstanding regarding the strangers that have been within your lands. Man have not been slain by us, other than that we encounter another stranger, however, and we mean you no harm, and I certainly have abided by the terms outlined in the agreement I drew up with your emissaries. And at that point, the escort guy comes back and splashes water up in Thurwag's face.
Rude.
Gonna do anything at this point? Anything?
I'm just looking for spells for me to get out of this.
King sort of looking silently.
Deethers. Deethers? Hello?
The chief sort of walks back.
Has he left? Is this it? Was that... Oh, that
No,
was a very
no.
fast judgment. That is not good.
Comes back, and then he comes back up with another lizard folk who you recognise as the warrior that you rescued from the bear that attack. They have a bit of a back and forth.
Old mate.
Can't hear what they're saying. Then the warrior who you rescued walks off, and the king.
Deethers? Hello? Hello?
It is man. You will talk in my hut.
Yeah, because I feel like I have to shout from over here. That water is actually very loud.
And this guy disappears. And this guy who's been your escort pulls Thurwag out, chucks him in, sort of carries him by the scruff of his sort of coat and chucks him in the water. Swim across the water. Follow the chief. Thurwag swims, and a few of these guys on the other side sort of pull him out of the water and drag him off. Now we wait.
Oh no. You mean
All
our fate's
right
in
then.
his hands?
So the water tastes
jeez.
like underneath.
It's fresh water. It's quite lovely.
Mm,
Freshly
it's a good
aerated.
I'm glad I'm in this pool and not switch with Bob.
Hey, I
Well-
was joined.
I'm also.
I mean- Iris, you're standing there and you're like, the water just suddenly got warmer, Bob.
Is there not a weir on this thing? Jesus.
Can Zom attempt to
I was just
undo
got this big
his?
relieved look on his face.
Can Zom attempt to undo his rope using his
So
trunk?
yeah, you can. They're tied around your ankles. It will be a sleight of hand check with disadvantage.
With some guidance?
Guidance?
I imbue myself with guidance, and what do I? Sleight of hand.
Huh?
It's almost as if you have never tied a
17.
knot before. It comes undone.
I'm going to stay right where I am though. Just have the knot undone.
And these warriors are sort of like picking up their food, and they're coming over, eating over this side, watching you guys now. Your friends over there sure do look hungry.
Hey, Are you guys aware of? I can see you've had a bit of trouble with some goblins. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have you have?
They are the strangers.
Yeah. Is there? Are you aware that they are being led by some like elvish guy in like a large brimmed hat, like a wide brim, like a hat type thing?
That matches.
You know, hats, right?
Matches the description that the refugees tell.
Yeah. We encountered them.
Best tell the chief.
Well, I'd love to, but unfortunately, I'm tied to this fucking pole. So when are we gonna fix that? Hey?
It's up to the chief.
Well, I would love to tell the chief. I think it would help his judgment if we could actually, talk to him.
Not me you need to convince.
Well, it seems I do because he's making a judgment without all the facts. He seems to be over there deciding things without knowing things. Don't know if that's how you guys do things around here, but usually people in civilized societies usually use a bunch of facts to figure that. But it's fine. It's fine. You guys have gotten along just fine here so far. You have a very thriving community. It looks lovely, very au naturel. Bob here is looking like he is well in his element.
We survive.
I think you thrive. So is there anything on tonight? Is there like a get together or something?
Feast.
Feast?
Maybe. I guess that depends on how persuasive your friend can be. And he licks his lips.
Yeah.
Can we get some ale?
Hey! It's Mike.
Hey.
Oh, you guys are just all right, cluing in.
Hey, he goes. Very well. The escort calls over. Get them drinks.
Oh yeah.
Brings over. You're not able to get it. One of the people comes up and they're like, "Here's a thing for you to drink with." Sort of tilt your head back. It's some kind of. Do you want to accept what they're offering you?
Zom's going to take both hands and take a big drink and then put them back around the pole.
I've been told it's alcoholic. Bob's drinking it however he can and asking for seconds.
And you soon realise it's not actually alcoholic.
Ah! Splash.
Actually, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Why are your hands untied? Elephant man, why are your hands untied? Trunked man.
The rope just fell off. It's fine. I'll just stay here. I'll wait until your king approves our visit, and it's fine. In fact, look, you know what? Can I just sit on the bank here? I just need to get some sun.
Oh well, if he can sit on the bank, why can't I sit on the bank?
Just get a sit.
It's
And then I just sit down and just
You're
relax,
cool. Are you going to actually climb out and sit on the bank?
Yep.
I just want to picture Zom just lightly kicking his legs in the water pool.
Yeah.
Are you going to resist being pushed back in, or
Do I need
Wanna
to be
try
pushed
and-
back in? Well, I'm just going to sit here and wait. I'm not going to do anything. Just, jeez.
For think's sake.
I mean, this guy has a job to do, all right? Back in the pool. Just you. Do you want to resist it, or
Probably in my best interest not to. All right, fine. I'll get back in the pool, but I'm not going to get tied to that pole.
While he's distracted by Zom, can I use my mage hand to try and untie the knot?
Ah, Graham's gotten out of the pool.
Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand.
Where's Graham?
15.
Down the pool,
Mage
yeah.
hand works quite nicely underwater. It punches around the fish. Does it? You've been sort of just sitting, your hands sort of frantically working away, cutting away, and you've had some fish sort of. You notice the fish is sort of starting to filter in, and there's some little ones swimming around and some bigger ones nibbling at your legs every now and then. They're clearly expectant for food, usually being in these pits, these pools, shall we say? Iris, just as your mage hand disappears, you notice a bit of commotion on the other side of the pool pond, like the lake area thing there.
Mm-hmm.
King wants the chief wants the rest of them now.
There you go. I
Yes,
don't need to go
there
back
is-
into the pool.
No sign of Thurwag.
Is there, like, there's not a pool of blood or anything?
I mean,
Excellent.
if it's
We're going to the king, and so Bob just
Let's
misty
go.
steps onto the rocks without waiting to be untied. Right, let's go.
And
Iris
the
steps
guards
out
are
as well.
quite confused about you. Boatman, is this some witchcraft you use?
Possibly. I'm a bit new to all of this, but I can do it, and it works. And I waited, and you said we go to the king now, so let's go.
So we all effectively just
Yeah.
wander out.
I did.
Yeah,
I just,
you guys are all. They want you to swim across the water. Yeah.
I was
want you to
really
walk
hoping
around.
that they'd be like, now the king will see you, and we all just walk away from the poles that they thought we were
Yeah,
attached
Yeah, that's
to.
what I was hoping.
Hey, you guys want to do that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
This guy here, he's sort of like, what?
That's great.
And like these guys. Hang on.
I don't know if
You hear-
Ramrod was able to get out, but
Hear like one of the guards there. Ah, fucking Yeti. So useless. Again.
Have you guys seen Reacher, the TV show?
I've seen the ads for it. It's supposed to be alright.
There's a bit where he's in the jail cell in cuffs, and they're like, "All right, you can go," and he just like basically just snaps the cuffs off and walks out. that's how this feels right
us.
now. Yeah.
Pretty much. Alright, you guys all get across, and there's sort of 3 more heavily armed guys over this side, and they escort you to this sort of plaza area here. You're passing along this path, you know, there's a few more families sitting around here, their faces are muddy, their simple clothes are torn and bloodied, one of them's cradling what is very clearly a dead baby. And ahead of you are these 3 sort of sheltered areas. The middle one has a large ornate chair. It could be carved from a dead tree, or it could equally just be a naturally gnarled old tree stump. And the figure that you recognise there is the chief. He's sitting upon it. And under the two guards who sort of escorted you from the water, they take position under the 2. Can't tell when I point at my screen. One here and one here. And they sort of stand there, and they've got their spears ready, and they stand poised, like you see their tails just sort of like rigidly swaying gently from side to side, like they're pretty providing balance. They're ready to sort of, muscles are tense, ready any rapid movements, and they're in. And one of them sort of hisses, kneel before the chief.
And I turn and I just kneel to Graham. Did he say kneel towards the thief?
The chief.
Oh, sorry.
Zom says, I already am kneeling.
But the chief was already kneeling, so how can we kneel before he kneels?
The chief's sitting on the chair. Because of the picture.
That's the best thing I've seen for inspiration so far.
Yeah, that's pretty close. That's pretty close. You're getting
Close.
you're about this. You're one more good joke off of inspiration, Ches.
What? Jeez. Inspiration's rare enough as it is, I would have thought.
Well, he's had some good ones tonight. I can't remember what the earlier one was, but there was one like, I should probably give it for that. But yeah. So you're all going to kneel before the chief?
All right. I'll just take off something from my backpack to put down on the ground, and then I'll kneel on that so as not to get myself too dusty.
No, Zom is going to respect the custom of these visits now that we're not 5 foot hole and basically being held hostage.
Out.
Hold what? Your hands out.
Place your hands out.
Bob's gonna kneel down and be like, we heard you had some problems with strangers. We wanted to come and talk about them. Oh, alright, sorry.
You will speak when you're spoken to.
We were spoken to.
When you are asked to speak, you will be spoken to. You all got your hands out?
Yeah.
One of the escorts approaches with a dagger in his hand. A cup, the other.
Graham's just like,
Small cup.
Iris PTSD.
yeah.
Yeah, they're
He
looking
kind
at
of
the
flinches.
scars on your palms already. Who wants? Who? Oh, I'm going to go. That they're in. You guys are kneeling in the order. So, Graham, you're first, and he goes to cut your hand with the cup underneath.
Graham pulls his hand back.
It is our custom. Chief tastes all who kneel before him.
Graham ask, can I do it with my own dagger? And he pulls out his own little scissors and little pinprick.
As you pull out the sharp blade before the chief, smack it at it.
I already got them in my hand.
You're kneeling before the chief. He asks you to put your hands out, and you pull out your hands like this. You kind of like this.
No.
Hold your hands out, and you're holding like an AK-47 or something.
Hold your hands out. Yeah, no worries, mate. Here are my hands. Here, they're right here.
Got a minor illusion.
Oh, you got it invisible. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to leave them invisible and then just make yourself bleed with it? Just.
Yeah. I could try.
You can try. Like you could go, and your hand just starts to bleed.
Let's do that.
Okay, and then they're just gonna. Strange. Are you gonna let them cut your hand and put the blood in the cup?
Can I suggest I don't cut my hand, because the hand contains a lot of nerves and muscles. It's a very, very sensitive part of the body. Why don't can we cut a shoulder, even a butt cheek, for crying out loud? Jeez, let's not do the hand. I just don't like. I don't like my hand being cut. Here, what about with the back of the hand? The top of the arm. Even
Slash
the
it.
elbow.
They slash at your ear because it's the closest other thing.
Oh. Well, that's how I remove all of the heat of my body. You got.
I know, and they bleed because my dog's got floppy ears, so I know that they're quite well vascularized, so they bleed quite well.
I feel like you should have asked for that.
Iris, are you going to let them cut your hands?
I'm going to attempt to do something.
Okay, what are you going to attempt to do?
I'm going to attempt to do prestidigitation
Yes.
twice.
Okay.
I'm going to attempt to make a mark on my hand that makes it look like I've been cut, and I'm going to create a sensory effect that looks like blood falling into the cup, if you will allow it. Whether
I'll allow
you
it.
want me,
Yeah,
whether
yeah.
you want me to roll or do anything, I don't know, or whether
so
you're
you-
just happy for me to do it because
I'm happy for you to do. Definitely, you're going to be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to work out if I want you to roll a deception check on it though, because it's a spell, so it would happen. You've got to try and sell the fact that they're cutting your skin, like you're moving.
Deception.
You think? What would it be?
I'm happy with deception.
I think it would be deception, but it's a relatively low DC. Yeah. Show Iris. They think that they've cut your hand. And all the blood's sort of like mixing in amongst themselves now. Ramrod, you going to let them cut your paw?
Fine. You may cut my
Blood rolls
paw.
in. Oh. Let them cut your hand.
Sure, but whatever any of you guys have got, I'm gonna have now because it's all the same knife. So I guess we're all together in this forever.
Yep. Brothers.
It's like that.
Brothers / sisters.
that
Thank
lady,
you.
That lady from the back alley of Yata. The whole team went home scratching, rashes.
Alright, get your inspiration now, because you've wound in your backstory nicely. Very good, very good. Alright, so yeah, the little cup has now got all of your blood in it, and it's all sort of just around the rim. Obviously, it's not going to fill. It's not that much blood that's going to come from your hand.
Hang on. So what? The blood's all mixed together.
So how I picture it is kind of like the hand's being cut, and they're doing that to capture it around the edge, slowly turning it as they go. So the rim of the cup, blood all around it. Does that make sense?
That's how we each get diseases.
These guys don't really care. It's their tradition and their customs on how they would do it.
Maybe that's why they're lizard folk in the first place.
And so then the guard goes forward to the king and sort of passes him the up thing. You see this tongue, and it just sort of long and licks around the edge, so 3 or 4 times, just staring at you as the tongue.
You're a bit. I don't know if I want to tell you that I can't see your tongue, but I'm.
Glorious.
Someone's screen capping that to make it into a GIF.
I can taste it. Your blood. It's not of our lands. The bearded one was speaking the truth. For strangers, far away lands, a hostile village. I sense your fears. Today, I will not feast your flesh. Vinth is a higher mission for you. My lands have been tainted by the hunter. He ravages my people, murdering my best warriors and destroying my villages. My people return to me from the far reaches. They come with simple belongings, all they have left. My sanctuary here is not big enough for them. It is already dark. My warriors feast upon the weaker and more frail.
Time for his feed or something.
I have sent out patrol after patrol of warrior. None bring me the head of this hunter. We are the predators of this jungle, not him. I seek your help to catch, kill him. Together we feast upon his blood and that of his foul brood. You will catch him, or your bodies will make a feast fit for Synth's honor. One you call Thowak, with my shaman. He seeks the truths. Shall find one, should you succeed. Not where he expects. I will help him. Help you. You will help me.
Stops for a second.
I am the fear of this jungle, not him. Now tell me how you plan to kill.
How we plan to kill him?
Just in the middle of that speech, can Zom have just like discreetly yawned?
Just drink a fuck ton of water because that hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should try singing a death metal gig for like 45 minutes.
Next time, make your NPCs just normal humans, so you don't have to fuck your voice up.
Are there any gay lizard folk?
What
Darling, I'm gonna drink your blood.
Looks expectantly to you all.
I mean, I've got a few ideas how we could kill, hunt a hunter. Obviously,
We would need to face him. We would need to discern his weaknesses on our own. Unless you can provide us with some information about him. What do you know about him? Is there anything the people who have returned have told you about him? Does he use Fireball, for example? We don't
You.
use Fireball here.
if you return?
Let me just find. I've made him. Where is he? Oh, there he is.
He goes by the name
Akarth.
Akath.
Hath.
He's a master hunter. His bow.
Is he Master Baiter as well?
He has not baited us. But presumably his hunting prowess extends to baiting.
Chief, are there a number of sickly members of your tribe who are maybe not doing so well and could be used to help this village in other means?
I see where you're going, girl. We do have some sacrificial lizard folk for the greater cause.
Oh, definitely for the greater cause.
Yes.
I mean, so
There
far
are a
we've...
number of elderly ones my warriors have already started claiming for their own feast.
Well, let's take a few of them off your hands if you don't mind, and we'll escort them somewhere. And from what we know of this Decath,
Darth Maul.
he is known to set ambushes So I think it might be beneficial to perhaps maybe some of these elderly, infirmed, and sickly lizard folk of your tribe maybe trigger the ambush, and then we trigger an ambush of our own.
He seems to prefer those of fine physical form.
I mean, we can spruce him up with a couple of
Their
fancy doodads.
hides are its prize.
I mean, you can. Have you got any hide polish laying around here? We can make them sparkle a little bit. I know they're a bit old, but
Hide polish does not exist.
I mean, if you're looking to mate, it's probably a good idea.
I
But
have no trouble mating, girl.
you have no trouble mating, girl. Good, good. Okay, well,
Or you seek to set an ambush for the ambusher.
I mean, that would be pretty funny because what happened is never mind.
Irony.
Irony is not lost on me.
Actually, it's kind of a double irony because they
That make
ambushed
us-
the ambush that ambushed us, and then
Does that make us then masturbators?
What did you say, little man?
we're setting bait, so we're just trying to be the masters of it.
I
Well, we're
see.
baiting a master tracker. We must be master baiters to bait a master tracker.
Or baiting the master baiter. A load of wank.
This is just glorious.
I think this conversation's spiraling.
Oh dear.
You don't eat. You don't feast until you feast him.
Now,
Oops.
I mean, that's a pretty solid plan. I would put some copper on that one, which I do have. But,
I've been friends with Iris for quite some time now. I would trust her. She knows what she's talking about. It's a pretty solid plan.
Where would you propose we do it?
Are there? Do you have a map of the area, Chief? Is there a number of places that have been, say, the subject of this hunter more often than not?
You have a preferred hunting ground, hunting area.
He attacks at whim, it seems. Villages, trolls, children playing. Seizes every opportunity. A
Right.
fight doesn't matter to him.
Okay. What about the goblins he travels with? Have you seen any of those? Is there a location where they might be located?
Seems to be an endless supply. They come from everywhere. The stories the refugees tell. Terrifying.
Is this your jungle?
Yes. But
Then you should
dare
have the
question
best
me.
scouts in the entire jungle. How do you not know any information about the comings and goings of goblins? Where they're gathering, where they're hitting from. This seems like basic information you should be collecting if you want to deal with this guy, but that's fine. I mean, if we hadn't come around, you would probably just do this over and over until the village fell. But we are willing to take this problem.
They
off of
take
your
our
hands.
hides to caves. They have 3 or 4 of them. We travel at night in single file. They use wagons.
Maybe we just get a wagon load of lizard folk make sure there's some prime skinned lizards driving that thing, and we make it an irresistible target for, say, a hunter who would like nothing more than to skin them all.
What about if we took, say, 3 or 4 of your best warriors
Dress them up as maidens.
in assistance?
Look. How do you propose to kill him?
Like a spear through the face would usually work. For most things I've encountered, that sort of thing tends to work. You know, or
I can
hopefully
think
evisceration
of-
works as well. I mean, I'm a pacifist. I don't like to do this sort of thing, but I'm just telling you what I've seen.
I have a few places I can think of. Want a road with wagons? You want places to hide?
I think we just hide in the
Yeah.
wagon, and then I don't
Or
know.
hiding in the wagon?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I can make sure that someone is driving the wagon who looks like a fine quality specimen. But yeah, effectively, we'd all be in the wagon.
The water?
Yeah, I'd love some water. Thanks.
High ground,
I also
water.
have some water.
You think that would be of use?
Uh,
Yeah, why not?
I mean, it's not necessary, I don't think. Could. Oh, I see. Yes, the DM's like checking maps. Yeah. Yeah. I have a map with water and high ground.
Shut up! There's a map with a road and high ground and water.
I'm like, why would the chief want water and high ground? That doesn't. Oh, yeah. No. Sure. Yes. No. It's crucial to the plan that the location of this stage is set around water and the road.
In utter fairness to me,
A T-junction.
this is the kind of things that you're thinking of when you're planning an ambush. What does it look like? Where are you going to hide? You're going to hide in the wagon, okay?
Well, theoretically, we don't know where he's going, so we're just going to travel around on a road, I assume, until it happens.
I
So
would
it
think
might just
we
be like-
wouldn't want high ground because that's where they would be ambushing from.
Don't you want to try and... I'm going to be taking myself out of the chieftain's folk and talk to you guys as someone who's planning a battle here. You guys want... you're trying to set an ambush, right? You guys are trying to get ambushed, right?
If we're in the wagon,
Yeah.
yeah.
We are the master baiters.
You guys are the bait, right? With your juicy lizard folk are the bait. Let's not also skim it.
My folk don't usually take wagon. Tend to slow us down.
Well, how do they travel? We need to be attractive bait. We don't need to be obvious bait.
We are attractive. Look at us.
You say it.
Oh, Bob. I don't know why you keep thinking that.
Yeah, so I think just a few lizard folk, just to at least make it look like the numbers are bigger. Get a wagon, and then we'll take care of the rest.
Really have wagons.
You don't have a
Okay,
sorry
we'll go
what?
for a wander then.
Really have wagons.
You don't have a wagon.
Well,
Looking around, is there anything to make a wagon?
Yeah, you could knock one up around here. Knock one.
I just looked to Zom like, Zom, is that something that you can do? I have no idea.
I could certainly try. What about this? What we could do is on the wagon we could have say 3 or 4 people who are injured that we're transporting, and we could make it appear as though we're trying to transport them quite quickly. That would be
On a
perfect.
wagon.
Just a simple wagon, simple and
One of
keep
those
their
fast
weapons at their
wagons.
sides. Yeah, well, it would have to be. We could have 4 wheels and you know, it has to be nice and smooth and just a straight bed on top. And I'm sure I could knock something up.
Well, the job Ramrod did on the house on the beach between Zom and Ramrod.
Oh yeah, actually, that's a point. Ramrod.
In the
Ramrod's probably
bag.
better for it.
You know, I'm something of a carpenter myself. I can certainly give it a go. I can help, Zom.
You can say Ramrod. Why? I would be sure I would do that sort of help.
No worries.
Shall we get to it?
Yes, let's get to it.
Yes, we need the full half-hour roleplay of Zom and Ramrod building the wagon.
Now listen up. I don't want a word out of you for the next half an hour.
That's like you hold a hammer.
Nothing.
Jeez.
Well, we'll just sit here for half an hour then. The occasional.
Oh no, that's a Patreon only channel sub OnlyFans special episode.
uh,
Both Zom and Ramrod attempt to construct a makeshift medical wagon, shall we call it?
Pega wagon.
The masturbator wagon.
I'm just trying to look at some maps that we can use for next week then.
Not too high ground, only what Graham can jump up.
yeah.
So just so I've got the plan, your guys' proposed plan correct. You're going to make a wagon. It's like a medical stretcher, and you're going to put a bunch of lizard folk who look wounded on it.
No, they just look.
Are they-
Their hides are in perfect condition.
I would have been thinking that the lizard folk are taking the wagon
Taking the wagon, okay.
and the people on the wagon, so we would have the smaller members of our group. So and they'd be covered over, so it looks as though they're.
I was thinking like a covered wagon.
Covered wagon, okay.
Well, I was just thinking of a flat makeshift wagon that someone can get out of really quickly. Well, not that it matters, I guess, but they would be covered over. But it would be quite clearly a wagon, maybe a big
Big red
wagon
cross
with
on
dead
it.
seat. Yeah, well, no, you just have feet sticking out as if they're dead, and you might have Graham and Ramrod and Iris. Who's the other small? Bob's probably the smallest.
Where are you, Zom?
And Zom would be pulling the wagon. And Ramrod maybe under the wagon as well.
Right. And you guys, are you going to be headed towards...
Just between a village. Between villages.
The chief kind of explains to you that most of the villages have been raided by this beast and that only the sanctuary left, which is what you've now worked out is what this place is called.
Maybe we
and
just
everywhere
walk
else
in
is-
circles around this village a few miles out.
He draws you like a rough map on the ground as to where other villages would be.
I mean, if we're thinking about this of the perspective of we want to actually deceive the purpose of our trip, going in circles is not going to do that because he's going to take. It's not going to take much observation before he's going to go, oh, okay, I know what we're doing here, and then cover's blown, and then he sets the trap. But if we're thinking this in terms of a D&D combat scenario, are we going to assume that we've taken all the necessary precautions and there's not too much deeper thinking into it?
I'm just trying to get you guys to think about. Yeah, are you going to be headed somewhere? Or are you going to be
I was just thinking that we would head between a village, so we're carrying...
headed out? You're holding,
Yeah.
taking the... In theory, this guy who's got eyes throughout the jungle and was watching you guys earlier today, going to see a wagon appear through the jungle with you guys on it.
Yep.
Some lizard folk on it.
And Zom is going to be sort of chained to the wagon, pulling the wagon as if he's now been made a slave by
A
this.
beast of burden. Okay.
Yep.
I can disguise myself to look like a lizard folk.
Oh yeah.
So can Bob.
Oh, jeez. There you go.
Graham, with his martial arts training, can just cling to the underside of the wagon, right?
Iris and Bob can be riding the wagon, whipping Zom, making him hurry up.
Well, cool. We might leave it there, guys.
Mush
Cool.
elephant.
To be continued. To be continued next week.
Do you want us to roll for making the wagon? Because we've determined how good of a... No? Oh.
Please.
I don't think so. Just trying to...
What about for Zom to detect traps of the ranger?
We'll do all of that next week. Next week is going to start with you guys leaving this village.
There'll be many teary maidens. How long are we taking to build this wagon? Like days, weeks, minutes?
I would imagine between the two of you it would take a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Well, have we got spare parts wagons that we're just like combining?
I mean, I don't think this has been fleshed out.
It's up to you guys what you do from here.
We need to kill this hunter, or kill this chief, and the hunter.
I mean, they're kind of your choices, aren't they?
Yeah.
So about this temple, how far?
My shaman discusses such things with the Thurwag.
Hey, how does the chief get chosen?
I am the biggest.
Oh, is there not like a really fat lizard around here somewhere who could be like second in command?
Oh,
Oh, okay. Alright.
there was.
But you ate him. Yeah, no, I get it. Alright. Well, this has been illuminating. Thank you, Chief. Is there any chance that we can stay the night and sleep under a roof?
Very well. You are not to leave tonight, though.
I literally just asked if I could sleep under a roof here. I assumed you were going to kick us out.
You are not to escape.
Okay. We
I
won't. We promise not to escape.
Iris.
I
Chief,
promise. I will
Iris
not escape.
She's not comfortable sleeping in the forest. She wants a proper bed to sleep on. She's
I
a
would-
bit of a city folk. You understand. Well, maybe not, but she is.
Cities are to the north of here.
She just needs to be comfortable.
Very well.
Just, I've got such a bad back, you know?
Oh, I know, Iris. Yeah. Would you like me to stand on it for you?
No. No. I intend on walking again.
Gone now. leave in the morning.
Okay. Have you got like a lozenge or something? No, that's fine. The brooding is working. Let's go, guys.
All people, he would have a lozenge.
I mean, if the chief can't get a lozenge, who can, right?
Well, I mean, his throat's got to hurt in that voice all the time.
Bob, are you all together comfortable with this plan?
What could possibly go wrong?
What's Ramrod going to be?
Dead guy.
Hopefully not.
And were there other lizard folk walking with you?
Yes.
Or
Yes. Well, the idea is to make it appear as though it's an all lizard folk escort.
and
Right
do you
from
want
the
them
beginning.
to be warriors or?
Yes, of course, because they are aware of the other people getting attacked, so they're hurriedly sort of going through going along this path with the.
I mean, he did say that the guy had killed all his best warriors. So yeah, he's targeting warriors. It's not like he's like, oh, warriors, we better stay away from them.
Yeah, and he did also say children are playing stuff as well. So
Yeah.
it's just anyone, as long as it's a fair target.
As long as that hide is...
And I would think that if it's a band of warriors with a beast of burden elephant and a tray full of dead people.
I think your plan's going to work.
Yep, absolutely. Nothing can possibly go wrong with this plan.
Agreed.
Interesting. Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
I'm glad the DM agrees.
When you do what we need to, you can't just assume that the plan works extremely well and move on to the next module.
Yeah.
If I can write something between now and next week. Ooh, this might be a good one. No, it's too big. Alright, guys.
The party had a plan. The plan went well. The next village, Hunter's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
It was a good plan.
it
We
works well.
did it, guys. We literally submitted, well, the DM dragged us into his village, explained to us what we needed to do, and then, well, not explained to it, explained what they wanted from us, and then we came up with a plan. We're going to go execute it next week. It's great.
I've tried not to railroad you guys, and you could have very well fallen into a battle tonight if you had done certain things, but you didn't.
Along the
We should
little
have
creaky river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Murdering this entire town was an option. It wasn't the best option, but it was certainly there.
Was an option.
We're not murder
Yeah.
hobos yet.
We're not.
Yeah,
But I mean,
exactly.
they keep talking to us like that. They change our tune.
Wait till level 6, then we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Ooh, if I had a gun, I'd shoot you. Yeah, well, you don't.
Hmm.
I was curious what was going to happen when we were tied to the posts, but that went very smoothly.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's only when Zom went to drink the water, drink whatever it was, that he noticed that he had untied himself.
Yeah. That was good.
Very
That
good.
was really funny.
No, I untied myself with my trunk.
Yeah, but then when
Yeah, but-
they brought the drink over, you went, ah. Oh.
You got
Thank
both
you.
your
Oh,
hands.
sorry. I was only half listening. Yeah.
That was funny.
That was pretty funny. Yeah, you guys had multiple opportunities to fall into battle, and you didn't at any point. So proud of you.
Okay, great skill and great restraint.
If I didn't railroad you too
Personal
much to,
growth.
to hear.
Then Orange blast the chief.
Guys, well, should we call it a night?
Yep.
Aw.
It's
I
been great.
wonder what's going to happen next week.
Ooh,
I think we all do.
Fade away.
Doodle-doo, doodle-doo. The trap worked perfectly.
And you're all awoke back home. The end.
Your
It was
sound
all a dream.
Level 20.
One last thing. Did you want it to be? Oh no, that's all right. No.
high ground.
Yeah, we want the high ground.
You want the high ground.
low ground. Flat ground.
All right. Good night, guys.
We want
yeah.
them
Good
to
night.
ambush us where we're all behind rocks and they're on flat, barren territory.
Okay, you want cover. You want cover.
For us
You
only,
want
though.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
I mean, we can't really determine when they decide to attack us, though.
Oh look, now they're in the heavily fortified area. It's the perfect time for us to spring our ambush on them. Bye!